Hello again, this is called That Old House. In that old living room, in that old chair and couch, when it hit the fan, they could really dish it out. Sometimes it got loud when push came to shove. They never held their tongues, and they never held a grudge. If that old house could talk, oh, it would scream and shout the way they did when times were tough. Still they always worked it out. Love lived in that old house. At that old kitchen table, with their paychecks down to pennies, a big old stack of bills, arguing about money. The neighbors heard every word and every slamming door from the Mr. and Mrs. and another tug of war. If that old house could talk, oh, it would scream and shout the way they did when times were tough. Still they always worked it out. Love lived in that old house. If that old house had ears, if that old house had eyes, it would have heard the fireworks and seen the tender times. In that old king-size bed with those old floral sheets, it's where they laid their heads, it's where they warmed their feet. They made a lot of love, they laughed and they cried. They were at each other's throats and by each other's side. If that old house could talk, oh, it would scream and shout the way they did when times were tough. Still they always worked it out. Love lived in that old house. If that old house could talk, it would scream and shout the way they did when times were tough. Still they always worked it out. Love lived in that old house. Love lived in that old house. Love lived in that old house. Ah, that old house. Lots of love in there somewhere. Just had to kind of look around for it. Thanks so much for listening. Appreciate it. And see you next time.